Hello guys, this is Judd Demonstrations. In this video, I would like to show you some interesting interactions with Panglacial Wurm. Now, as you can see here, I have the board all set up for this, so let's get right to it. The most important card we will be looking at is, of course, Panglacial Wurm. It's a 7-cost card that has Trample. It also has While you're searching your library, you may cast it from the library. And this has some pretty interesting applications. I don't see it used in competitive too often, but it's a unique card either way. So I'm going to first demonstrate how it would normally work. So I'm going to use 2 forests to cast a Sylvan Scrying. This lets me search my library for a land, reveal it, put it in my hand, and shuffle. So I'm going to search my library. So right here, fourth from the top, I see the Panglacial Wurm. Its ability allows me to cast it directly from the library. So I'm going to take this chance right now to cast it. So I'm going to tap all of the Tron lands to make 7 colorless. I'm going to use Cascading Cataracts to filter 5 of the colorless into 5 green. This is enough to cast Panglacial Wurm, so I'm going to use all of my mana on Panglacial Wurm to put it on the stack. Now, you might be wondering what happens now. Since Sylvan Scrying is still resolving, I still have to complete my search for a land and then shuffle. Of course I can fail the search or fail to find, but I'm going to grab the tower and then I'm going to put it in hand and finish resolving Sylvan Scrying. And now Panglacial Wurm is on the stack and ready for everyone to respond to it. It can be counterspelled, and all of the stack shenanigans can happen as usual. But then hopefully it resolves, and if it doesn't get countered or anything, it goes on the battlefield like normal, as if you cast a spell regularly. Alright, so the interesting bit comes when you use cards like Milliken and Selvala. Now these have special mana abilities. This requires you to mill a card as well to add colorless. Selvala has extra stuff as part of the ability. It requires each player to reveal the top card of their library. You gain a green mana and you gain a life for each non-land card revealed, and everyone draws what they revealed. So I'm going to show those in action. So I'm gonna pretend that the Urza's Tower is tapped for some reason. I'm gonna tap the Forest and Cascading Cataracts to cast the Sylvan Scrying again. I'm going to not shuffle, that's not what I want. I'm going to use Sylvan Scrying to search. This is great. So I'm going to tap the forest, the mine, and the power plant. That'll get me 1 green and 4 colorless. Actually, wait, I can't even do that yet. So I'm going to first search for Panglacial Wurm. I'm going to tap the forest for green. I'm going to tap the mine and power plant for 4 colorless. I'm going to use Milliken, tap, mill a card, As you can see, spatial contortion is on the top. I'm gonna mill 1 to have spatial contortion go on the bottom. That'll create a colorless mana for me. And I'm going to use Sylvala's ability as well. So with her, I'm going to reveal the top card to all players. The top card is the Expedition map, as you can see right here. So since that's a non-land, I'll gain a green mana, I'll gain a life, and I'll draw the Expedition map. Now for that, I've acted as if I'm the only player that exists. Normally, we'd have at least a 2-player game or a 3-player game or something like that. But for demonstration purposes, it's gonna be just me that I'm looking for. So that just created me a green. So that got me enough mana to cast Panglacial Wurm. So I'm gonna spend all of that to cast Panglacial Wurm. Now of course we have to remember from last time, Sylvan Scrying has to finish resolving. So I'm going to reveal an Urza's Tower, put it in hand, that goes to graveyard, and then that's still on the stack like normal, it's respondable, and if it resolves it goes on the battlefield like normal. Now, the most interesting interaction that I want to explain is in the case that I can't reverse the mana abilities, also known as Sylvala somehow failing to make me enough green mana to cast Panglacial Wurm. So I'm going to untap everything as normal. I'm going to put Sylvan Scrying back in my hand. Tap Urza's Tower, let's just say I used it on something random. Now this demonstration will be for in case Sylvala fails. I'm gonna tap Forest Cascading Cataracts to cast Sylvan Scrying. I will view my library. Panglacial Wurm. I'm gonna note that Panglacial Wurm was on top of my library. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to put Urza's Tower on top of my library. So I'm going to note that I tapped Power Plant and mine for 4 colorless and 1 for forest. This is really important if you want to reverse the actions. Now I'm going to do Sylvala first. So of course I'm going to consider myself for this demonstration. I will reveal top card to all players. Oh look, it happened to be a land. Since that's a land, then I can't make it green and I can't gain a life off of Sylvala. And I draw a card. And then I tap Milliken to mill a card. That's Golos, and I add a colorless. So right here, I've exhausted all of my possible mana abilities, and I do not have enough mana to cast Panglacial Wurm. I only have 5 colorless and a green as floating. Panglacial Wurm needs 7. So as stated by Rule 723.1, I reverse as much as I can. So Rule 723.1 will be described in the comments below, but essentially what it does is I put Panglacial Wurm back on top of the library because it was there when I first tried to cast it. I'm going to take the option to undo all of the legal mana abilities that I could. So I'm going to untap the forest, untap the mine, untap the power plant. Now, Rule 723.1 also states that I cannot reverse the abilities of Milliken and Selvala. This is because they changed the contents of my library, or they revealed contents of my library as well. So I'm unable to reverse those abilities, even though Selvala failed to make any mana for me. Now, of course, I still can't forget about Sylvan Scrying, so I'm going to either fail to find or search for a land, like a forest, and shuffle my library. So, that's all of the interactions that I wanted to cover with Panglacial Wurm today. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it down in the comments below. Also, if you have any suggestions for what to do next video, you can also leave them in the comments below, and I will make a video on that. This is Judd Videos, signing out. Peace.